Job searching can be exhausting. And if you have 10 or more years of experience in your career, you likely know that you are qualified for the job that you want. So when you are out here job searching and you are not hearing back, no interviews, no offers, no callbacks, just silence, that is not just disappointing. It is extremely exhausting because again, you know you're qualified and yet all your efforts are still not working. And I think what makes the job search even harder for a mid-career professional woman, there's a high chance that you are not just job searching from a comfortable place, right? You are job searching while you're trying to survive in a job that no longer fits who you are, a job that no longer fulfills you, no longer aligns with who you are, no longer excites you. So the job is already draining you every single day. And now you're trying to fit a job search on top of that, on top of your actual workload, responsibilities, and your life at home. It is a lot. And when the job search is not producing results on top of all of the things you have going on, it starts to feel like your desire to leave your draining job and find something better is just not going to happen. And that feeling is what leads to burnout during your job search. So in this video, I'm sharing why your job search is burning you out and the exact system and schedule that you can follow so you can job search without burning out and actually land the role that you're looking for with your dignity and confidence intact. If you're new here, hi, welcome. And if you are a regular viewer, welcome back. I'm Dr. Tega, a career coach who helps professional women leave draining, soul-sucking jobs that they don't like anymore and land higher paying, more fulfilling careers by coaching them to clarify their next career move in job search without burning out. Check out the video's description for more details on how we can work together. Let's get into today's video. So let's talk about what is actually happening when your job search burns you out. Because I really want you to understand this because that is how you change how you approach it. The first problematic layer is usually that the job you're already in is stressing you out. So if you're a mid-career professional woman who has been in your career for 10 and more years and you are job searching right now, chances are it is because the job you are in no longer works for you. It is no longer fulfilling. It no longer aligns with who you are in this season of your life. And that job is already taking energy from you. Right? Every meeting you sit in that feels meaningless, every task that you complete that you no longer care about, every day you go through the motions, that all costs you energy. Showing up regularly at a job you no longer care about is already exhausting in and of itself. Then the second problematic layer is the job search itself on top of that job. So job searching is not a passive activity. It takes time, energy, and psychological effort. I always tell my clients that job searching is a part-time job. And you are trying to run that part-time job while already working a full-time job that is draining you, while also managing your life, your responsibilities, your family, everything else that does not pause just because you decided to job search. That is genuinely a lot to handle. And then finally, the third problematic layer, and this is one that I think often tips women into full burnout, is when all that effort produces nothing. No interviews, no callbacks, just automated rejection emails or complete silence. When you are pouring that much energy into something and getting nothing back, the discouragement compounds on top of the exhaustion. And now you're not just tired, you're starting to wonder if it is even worth it, and you feel super exhausted and dejected. So how can you combat all of that? Well, first you need clarity, and then you need a job search schedule that mitigates against overworking and eventually burning out. So let's talk about clarity first. I worked with a client who came to me after she had applied to over 70 jobs. She had just completed her PhD and was trying to transition into a corporate role, but she wasn't sure exactly what kind of role she was targeting. So she was applying broadly, trying to find anything that might fit. She talked about how she was always hacking her resume to make it fit when she saw a job that she liked. And she wasn't hearing back. Over 70 jobs, and her efforts were not matching the results that she was getting. When we started working together, the first thing we did was get clarity about what role she wanted. We first started with clarity about where she wanted to go in her career. And once she had that clarity and a real strategy, she applied to fewer than 10 jobs and landed an offer as a behavioral researcher at a consulting firm. That is the power of having clarity in your job search. As a mid-career woman who has a ton of experiences, it is easy to fall into the trap of applying to anything you can get because by nature of your tenure, you're likely qualified for many things. But your job search is inherently going to stress you out if you are applying to too many different roles without knowing exactly what you want. When you do not have a clear target role and industry, you are scrolling job boards aimlessly, hoping that something jumps out at you. You are hacking your resume for every single posting, which takes time and energy every single time. You are applying to roles across multiple industries and multiple job titles because you are not sure which one is right. And none of it is leading to an offer because your applications are generic, and generic does not help you stand out in a crowded job market. So the solution is not submitting more applications. In fact, more applications almost always leads to more ghosting and more rejections, not more offers. What you need is radical focus. Radical focus is when you have one specific target role and one specific target industry that you are aiming for. Radical focus allows you to create quality applications that are tailored, targeted, and specific. When you have that kind of focus, your energy goes further in your job search because you are able to really market yourself for that one specific role, which allows you to stand out in the crowd of other applicants. So I say all that to say you shouldn't even be job searching if you don't already have clarity, because that is likely the foundational reason why your job search feels so exhausting. Obviously, outside of other structural issues that you may not have the power to control when it comes to the job market. And the second thing you need to help you job search without burning out is a job search schedule that is created to fit your life, not fight against your life and your responsibilities. And that is where the peace schedule comes in. The peace schedule is something that I teach my clients in my coaching program before they start their job search. And it is how we build a strategy and a plan so that they can launch a sustainable job search. So let's get into it. I want to teach you about the peace schedule. First, peace is an acronym that stands for each part and step of building a schedule so that you are not always exhausted in your job search. Step 1, P, stands for prioritize and plan. Job searching involves a lot of very different activities. There is searching for roles. There is networking. There is applying to jobs. There is interviewing. There's researching companies, negotiating, upskilling if you need it. There's a lot that goes into job searching. And the mistake that most people make when they are searching is that they try to do all those things at the same time randomly whenever they have a free moment to squeeze it in. That is chaotic and exhausting. What you need to do instead is recognize that each of those activities is distinct and requires a different kind of energy and focus. You need a separate time to search, a separate time to apply, a separate time to network, a separate time to prepare for interviews. And before you start, you need to decide which of those activities has the highest priority for where you are in your search right now. Because if you have not yet applied somewhere, searching and applying are probably the priority. If you have applications out, networking and following up might be the priority. Figure out what comes first, build a plan around it, and then execute the plan. Don't try to do everything at once. It will burn you out. Step 2, E, stands for establish boundaries. There are two kinds of boundaries that you will want to create while you are job searching to keep from burning out: external boundaries and internal boundaries. External boundaries means putting boundaries around your time and your commitments at work. If you are currently working in a job that you are trying to leave and that job is already draining you, this is the time to reduce your work effort. I know that might sound uncomfortable, but hear me out. If you have been given that job 100%, it is time to bring your effort down to somewhere between 60 and 70%. And before you push back on that, think about it this way. That job is no longer your future. Your job search is your future, and you cannot pour all your energy into a place that you are trying to leave and then have nothing else to build for your next fulfilling career, especially when it is a place that is not pouring anything back into you. Because if it was, you wouldn't always be drained and trying to leave that job. You need to audit your tasks at work. What can you delegate? What is actually not urgent? What are you doing more out of habit that you could stop doing? cut back on your effort and create margin in your life because you need that energy for your job search. The second kind of boundary, internal boundaries, happens with yourself. Job searching just has a way of getting you in this zone where you find yourself hunched over a computer or your laptop for 3 hours, your eyes are burning, you have a headache, you forgot to eat. You have to build in time to decompress. Go outside, take a walk, spend time with your family, work out, whatever it is that restores you. Take time for that so that you can come back to your job search fresh, energized, and confident in yourself. Step 3A stands for allocate time blocks. Now that you have your responsibilities and your priorities and your plan, you have your boundaries in place, you now need to actually schedule your job search activities. Put them in your calendar, specific time blocks for specific activities. This is the time I'm going to spend searching. This is the time I'm going to apply. This is the time I'm going to reach out to my network. Put it in your calendar and treat it like a meeting that you cannot cancel. Because when your job search is more reactive, meaning you just do whatever you have to do whenever you have a free moment or whenever you get anxious, it is always going to feel chaotic and exhausting. But when it is scheduled, you come into that time prepared, you know what you're doing, you have a time limit, you do it, and then you step away. That is how you manage your energy instead of letting the job search manage you. Step 4C stands for celebrate progress. This one is non-negotiable, and I mean it. You have to celebrate every single small win in your job search, and I mean everyone. You submitted a strong application, celebrate that. Someone agreed to have a networking conversation with you, celebrate that. You got an interview, celebrate that. You got an offer, absolutely celebrate that. Every time you celebrate a small win, you are pouring energy back into yourself. You are giving yourself a reason to keep going. And job searching is a long game. There will be stretches where it feels like nothing is happening. The celebrations are what keep you from spiraling into burnout during those stretches. They are positive reinforcement, and they remind you that you are moving forward in your job search even when the results are not yet visible. And the final step, 5E, stands for evaluate and adjust. Throughout your job search, you need to consistently be evaluating what is working and what is not working and be willing to adjust accordingly. If you have been reaching out to people in a certain way and nobody is responding to you, that approach is probably not working. Change it. If you have been applying to a specific type of role and you're not getting any callbacks, you're not getting any hits, something in your application is not landing. Look at it again and change it. If your networking conversations are not leading anywhere, evaluate how you are showing up in those conversations and change it. The definition of burnout in a job search is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and getting the same result, which is nothing. So when you have this piece schedule, it gives you a framework for staying adaptive so you are always adjusting based on what the data is telling you, as opposed to just grinding harder and harder and hoping something changes. So to bring all this together, if your job search is burning you out right now, you feel exhausted, the answer is not to push harder. It is to get clearer and get more strategic. Get clarity first so you know exactly what you are looking for and you can stop pouring energy into applications that don't match what you want. And then create your piece schedule so your job search has a real structure and a real plan that works around your life and doesn't burn you out. If you are watching this video and you are feeling burnt out from your job search, or maybe you took a break from searching because you already know that what you've been doing isn't working and you were just feeling exhausted, I want you to hear this. You do not need to figure this out alone, and you do not need to keep grinding harder through a process that is draining you, is exhausting you, and is making you lose confidence in yourself. The smartest next step you can take right now is to book a free career clarity call with me. On that call, we start by talking about where you are in your career right now, what is working, what is not working, what has been keeping you stuck in your job search. And then I help you get clear on what your goals actually are, not just like the surface level answers, but the real answer. And then I'll tell you the 3 specific ways based on everything you've shared with me that I would be able to help you land your career goal. And then we decide together what the next step is. Women walk off that call with more clarity about their career situation than they have had in years. So if you are ready for a job search that actually works, meaning it lands you a job without burning yourself out in the process, schedule your free career clarity call with me. You can go to hercareerdoctor.com/call or tap that link in the description of this video below. And I can't wait to talk to you about how I can support you. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. I hope, as usual, that you found it helpful. And if you did, don't forget to tap the like and subscribe buttons below. When you tap the like button, that signals to YouTube that this video is worth sharing with more people who might need to hear this information. And subscribing ensures that you don't miss future videos from me that will support you in your career. And candidly, it does help this channel grow. Thank you. And once you tap the like, subscribe, and notify buttons below, don't click away, because watch this. There's another video popping up on the screen right here, right now. And I bet you probably haven't watched that video yet. So go ahead and tap that video, watch that video so that I can continue supporting you in your career.